Hello and welcome back to iPropertyRadio with myself, Carol Tallon. You can contact us on social media at iPropertyRadio or email hello@iPropertyRadio.com. In the Proptech Hot Seat today is Oli Fargo, CEO of Coyote, and we're joined by Peter Rose, Director and Head of UK Forbury. So, gentlemen, you're both very welcome. Peter, we might start with you. Forbury, what is the offering there?
Forbury is based out of Australia and New Zealand, in actual fact, and we've been building that business for 20 years. We are effectively the go-to calculator for DCF and appraisal of property. So when property companies are buying, selling property across APAC, Forbury has that dominant position. To be honest, we were starting to run out of runway and decided to look around the world for the next market, and the UK kept popping up as the obvious target. So about 2.5 years ago, we entered the UK market, completely revamped our product for local conditions, and now we're right into it with half a dozen over here driving the business.
Very good. And really what we're here to talk about today is a very interesting partnership between your company and Coyote. So, Oli, obviously you've joined us before, so people may recall or may be familiar, but you might just remind our audience what Coyote does.
Yeah, thanks, Carol. Nice to be here again. So in a nutshell, Coyote is an acquisition and asset management platform targeted at the commercial real estate industry. So we help companies find the best opportunities to run at, ultimately transact them quicker, and then once they've acquired them, then we help them manage the assets, manage their risk, and make sure that they have all of the information at hand that they need to do their jobs.
Very good. So you might just share the information there in relation to the partnership, because this is a really interesting approach, one that maybe used to be more common, is less common now, but actually a formalized partnership working together. So you might just talk us through how Coyote and Forbury will work together in the UK market.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we hear so often from our clients is that one of the big frustrations around all things PropTech is that there are so many different solutions popping up. It can be quite difficult. They often have lots and lots of different tools that don't talk to each other. They've got to log into different places and different platforms, and that can create quite a frustrated, disjointed experience. And so what we took the opportunity to do through our partnership with Forbury is really remove those barriers and try and make something that is completely streamlined. So what we've done is we've taken the Forbury's underwriting capabilities and their investment modeling tools, and we've integrated that right into the Coyote platform. So when a Coyote customer gets sent an introduction by an agent, that data is already extracted and structured within the Coyote platform, which is what they will then look at as part of their deal screening to decide if they're going to progress this opportunity further or if they're just going to reject it and then just store that market intelligence for later. But now, if they are going to progress it forwards, they can just press one button and all of that data transfers into the Forbury product. They've got then all of the property information, the tenancy information, and they can just overlay their assumptions in terms of ERVs, void periods, and that kind of thing. And then straight away, they've got cash flows, they've got returns, and then they can take the Forbury model, drag it back into Coyote, and all that data is seamlessly ingested. There's no rekeying, there's no room for error, and then it's there ready to produce their packs for investors, for banks, and the whole thing can be done in the space of 5 minutes.
That combined picture is a very compelling one for portfolio owners. So how is it being received? Are you operational now?
Yeah, I mean, it's the reception that we've had from our client base has been absolutely amazing. Like, I think we knew that it would be a compelling offer for our mutual clients because it was kind of a no-brainer, because it just takes two tools that they're using and makes it quicker. But actually, I think what's been so encouraging is that when we kind of did our first mail out to our Coyote clients and said, we've got this upcoming partnership with Forbury, would you be interested in taking a look? I think we had verging on a 98% yes hit rate for clients that said, yes, we really want to see this. And it's clearly a big pain point.
So actually talk to me then about maybe some of the people who are using this at the moment and how it is different to how they were operating 12 months ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So because it's quite a new partnership, I haven't yet got sort of explicit permission to name individual clients yet. And I don't want them to be cross with me, but I can talk generally about those clients without sort of naming those clients. So before, what they were doing is they were all using bespoke Excel models that they've probably built themselves in-house. And then they often, from our clients' perspective, they were writing different models or having to tweak and change and add things onto those models for every single deal that they did. And then to get the data from Coyote into those models, they were perhaps having to like manually rekey the tenants, the start dates, the break dates. And so the whole process was quite disjointed. And regardless of the process being disjointed, actually, the process of having a bespoke model that you've built in-house is just fraught with issues, and that's probably something that Pete can talk more about.
Yeah,
just on that, Oli, I think you've covered off really well in terms of the workflow. Forbury is effectively a DCF / property metric calculator. That's what we do. We are a modeling house. And so what we were looking to achieve is a streamlined workflow. And so we always come up against bespoke Excel models. As Oli has referred to, there's inherent problems there. There's typically one author. They're not easy to use. You have to relearn them. There's all sorts of versions. But I'm not really here to sell the Forbury product, but we have a nice, consistent, we would say, best of breed. And what we wanted to do is team up with another best of breed expert in the form of Coyote. So now what we've got is literally all that information sitting in Coyote. You look at a target property, you hit a button, and we've got it down to 50 seconds. So we have loaded up a fully functioning model ready to appraise a target within 50 seconds. It's somewhat unheard of in the property industry.
How is this being received by, say, commercial agents who would traditionally have maybe gotten 14 billing days to do that?
The agents are starting to love the professionalism that they can illustrate. So typically to populate a model, be it their own bespoke model, send that to clients and paint a very professional image of that property that they are marketing, they can now do it in a fraction of the time with a huge amount of accuracy, but also on reporting that is very, very professional for their clients to see. So it's speed, it's accuracy, it's frankly the way that they are portraying insights into that property. They are starting to really see a step change in how they can differentiate themselves.
Over the last number of years, I've been critical of Proptech startups and innovators not working well together, and actually that has resulted in a slew of either startups failing or perhaps M&As. So actually coming together in this partnership, to me, seems like a really good way for innovators to bring, as you rightly said, Peter, the best in class of one and best in class of another, and bring it together so that it really improves the offering for the industry. So it's something that we'd love to see more of. But for this particular partnership, this platform, is it available outside of the UK? Is this a partnership that you're looking, will span a number of regions?
I think from both of our perspective, we've been so excited to see the feedback that we've got here in the UK. At the moment, we've built it around Forbury's Datum platform, which is the UK specific edition of the Forbury platform. But I think we're just seeing it as a very much a opening gambit, really. And I think we're really keen to expand that as both of our platforms expand geographically as to how we can do that and provide the same benefit in different territories. At the end of the day, we haven't done this because we thought it was a good idea. We've done it because our clients were saying to us, look, this is what we want. This is what we need. We're fed up, as you said, with these walled gardens.
Is Coyote operational in Australia?
No, at the moment we're not, and I think we see that as potentially a really exciting opportunity in the future.
Peter, has Forbury got this similar partnership in any other geographic locations?
Not of this ilk. So we always look at partnership as, frankly, a 1 + 1 = 3. And to reiterate Oli's point, it's got to be value adding to the customer. What we're seeing is almost a test bed in the UK, and the early indications are extremely positive. Would we love to roll this out through Australia, through our client base? We've got about 180 clients down under. We would love to.
Peter, I love that approach, because actually I think that that's one of the hidden objectives of a partnership. It should be that coming together is 1 + 1 = 3, not 2. And I think that that's a really important point. But I know from a practical level, it takes a huge amount of trust and integrity and relationship building to get to this level of partnership. So just for our innovators, our PropTech startups who might be listening in, can you give us some insight into that journey, either how it started, how long it took, what were some of the challenges to overcome?
Oli, you've got to kick off there. I've got plenty to say on this. It's a 2.5 to 3 year overnight success is how I describe it.
Yeah, it's really true. Like I think we first started talking about this when Forbury first came to the UK and first started exploring the UK market. And we just kept working at it. We kept talking about how it could work, coming up with different ideas. And that was before we even decided to sort of start talking to customers. And then you start talking to customers to understand, is there appetite? From there, you start then looking at the building. It takes a long time to get something like this off the ground, but it's worth it.
And in terms of, I mentioned there that it does require both parties acting with a lot of integrity in the early days. Well, obviously throughout, but as in you need that assurance in the early days, and trust is such a huge part of it. When you're getting into kind of the meat and potatoes of this type of conversation. So how did that happen? Because it doesn't surprise me at all to know that it was 2.5 or 3 years. That's exactly what I would have expected. And I know a lot can go wrong in 2.5 or 3 years. So Peter, you seem to be holding back. You seem to be holding back there, but I know you've plenty to say.
I am holding back because I think you've hit the nail on the head, Carol. It's all about trust, and I'm going to credit Oli with a very strategic approach to partnership. We came in as a newcomer to the UK. Coyote helped us. They in fact introduced us to the first 2 test customers. Now I think that was gold from our standpoint, but very, very smart from Oli's standpoint. We got to know each other. Not working together as such, but working beside one another. At every interaction, we were testing one another. We were saying, is the chemistry right? Is the actual partnership ingredients real? Can we start testing that on that 1 + 1 = 3 concept? And I think it all boils back to trust. And that's why I joke and say it's a 2.5 to 3 year overnight success. This has been a long time in building, and it's been frankly a pleasure as we've got to the legal stage of the partnership, that because there's so much integrity, because there's so much trust, it's actually been a very, very easy process.
That's great to hear. And I'm thinking, how do you grow this? Because obviously you're looking at your existing client base, you're looking at Coyote's existing client base, but now suddenly working together on the basis that 1 + 1 in this case does add up to additional value. How are you going out into the marketplace and presenting this new offering, which is neither one or the other, that it is a new offering? Like, who's taking the lead in terms of driving this to the market?
You go, Oli. I was about to say your marketing team has been at the forefront.
Yeah, so I mean, in the first instance, what we've done is we've made sure that we've integrated the sort of the Coyote Forbury piece into our demonstration platform that we use when we're out demoing to clients. And so it's now just a core part of what we show when we're demonstrating the platform. And then so anyone that we're talking to, we're out there not only talking about the benefits of the Coyote platform, but also the benefits of using Forbury within it. And so, yeah.
And I suppose I'm conscious of time, and I know that we don't have a lot of time this morning to get into this, although I will definitely be touching base with you both in a couple of months to see how this is progressing, and also to see how it's progressing perhaps looking towards expanding outside of the UK. But in terms of the information that you're getting, you know, now outside of your service, but in terms of the information, what kind of trends are you seeing? Because obviously these are such uncertain times. You know, it's a time when actually portfolio owners or those shopping for portfolios would certainly be, they will certainly be factoring in a huge amount of uncertainty into their buying decisions. What kind of trends are you seeing, or what kind of expectations do you have of the marketplace performance in 2023?
I mean, I'm happy to kick off with that. I think the last half of last year, we've never seen anything like it. I mean, we've been through some strange times since we've started. We haven't had the easiest, clearest run as an industry. But I think from probably record volumes of activity through the Coyote platform in the first half of last year, Q4 was, you know, zero. I mean, it was probably 10-15% of what we would have expected to have seen. And I think from talking to clients, that's just because everybody's been doing a lot of waiting to see where things are going to settle down. Interestingly, you know, we were certainly assuming that sentiment would carry on through a significant part of 2023, but actually the conversations that we're having so far this year are surprisingly optimistic. We're actually hearing a lot more from clients that are starting to feel that things perhaps have reached a kind of a floor, and are starting to feel pretty optimistic about transaction volumes picking up significantly in Q2. So, you know, we'll watch and see, but yeah, from a complete lack of confidence, I'm starting to feel a bit more energy, a bit more enthusiasm again.
Yeah, no, it's interesting actually, and I don't know, is it just kind of the flush of New Year when people are a little less jaded and a little more enthusiastic, but it's certainly the sentiment seems to be lifting, although a lot of the fundamentals underpinning that maybe haven't shifted so much. Pete, before we wrap up, any expectations from Forbury for 2023?
Oh, look, I think I'm going to approach this from a selfish perspective. Forbury is always excited when things are moving. So what we've seen is interest rates all over the place, geopolitical pressures, and property is all about risk mitigation. Now, whether you are doing an external transaction or whether you are appraising internally, that's where Forbury and Coyote come into play, because everybody, portfolio managers, investment managers across the board, are looking at what they have, looking at what they want to buy, looking at what they want to sell. And we have a part to play in all of that. So selfishly, we love it when things are uncertain and moving, because that means our customers are doing constant appraisal.
It's an ill wind that blows no, and that's really the epitome. You know, actually, I think that you're the first person I've heard to articulate it like that. But actually, that's a very good way to sum it up. You know, I think PropTech in general comes into its own when things are moving, because that's when data is interesting, and that's when modeling is required. That's an interesting way to sum up, and it's a good way for us to finish this conversation. But again, I would love to touch base with you both over the coming months, and see how this partnership offering is being received in the marketplace, kind of, and when you're getting to a level of high traction. And the other thing is, actually, I would love for any innovators to really take on board what, you know, the learning from this experience, and that actually this coming together, that not to lose heart if it does take 2.5 to 3 years, that's the process that it takes. But actually the end result is a better experience for the user, and that's exactly where we need to be getting to. So well done to you both for trying this, and I look forward to hearing how this progresses. So that was Oli Fargo, CEO of Coyote, and Peter Rose, Head of UK at Forbury. And that's it from us this week. You can get in touch with the show on social media at iPropertyRadio, or email hello@iPropertyRadio.com. My thanks to the Hear Me Roar production team, and to Luke Delaney on sound for Dublin South FM. Until next time, thank you for listening.